Hey everyone, it's Hunter and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then it is so nice to meet you and I hope that you will subscribe to my channel down below. In today's video, I am talking about the shows that you need to watch on Netflix because I am an avid Netflix watcher, as are the rest of the world. So in celebration of this Netflix video, I am wearing a Blockbuster shirt because I thought it was funny, because the reason why Blockbuster is dead is because of Netflix. So thought that would be a bit of an ironic twist. Also, I'm really into graphic tees recently, so I've just been wearing them for every video I've filmed for the last year, I feel like. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the shows. These are all shows, these are not movies or anything like that, so I did want to point that out. I filmed a video like this before, actually several times, but my taste in entertainment has changed quite a bit since I have filmed those videos, so that's why I'm doing an updated one. So 20 plus shows you need to watch on Netflix in 2020. I have 4 different categories. I have funny shows, feel-good shows, drama, and home/interiors. So first is the funny shows, and there are 7 shows in this category. So first I have The Good Place. The Good Place is just really funny. I haven't watched the most recent seasons, but seasons 1 and 2 are hilarious, and I don't know why, but I just think that they're so funny. Kristen Bell is hilarious, and she deserves all the awards, so that's why it's a good show. Next is One Day at a Time, and this one is a Netflix original, and it's about this Latina family who, the mom is like a nurse practitioner, and she is she's a veteran, and then her ex-husband, they're divorced, and then she just has 2 kids and they live with her mom, and they're all just really funny, and it's just a funny show. Next is a show that I don't like the name of because I don't want to say it, so I'm just gonna post it on the screen right now. I know that in this context it's a name and not a word that is inappropriate, but I just like to be family friendly here, and I don't want this show to be, I don't know, I just don't like the word and I hate it. And also I think this is rated TV MA, so like if you're not old enough to watch MA shows, then just don't watch this, so whatever. But it is the funniest show ever. It's about this rich family who something happens and they lose all their money and they move to this place, and it's the name of the show that they own because it's the only thing they have left to their name, and it's just a really freaking hilarious show. So 10 out of 10 would recommend. Next is Good Girls, and this one is also TV MA, but it's about these moms who, they're pretty strapped for cash right now, but they have a lot going on, so they kind of need it, so they rob a grocery store. And that's the premise behind the first episode. But I don't know why, but it's hilarious. And 10 out of 10 would not recommend robbing a grocery store, but I don't know why, it's just a really funny show. So you should watch it if you're old enough. Next is That 70s Show, and I feel like this is a classic show that I feel like I never would have thought to watch, but it was on Netflix, so that's why I watched it, and I actually really enjoyed it. But if you don't know what That 70s Show is, well, it's got Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis when they were babies, so not actual babies, but like they look like babies. I think Mila Kunis was like 13 in the show. Next is Young and Hungry, and I feel like this has been on there for a while, and I don't know if there are any new episodes that'll come on there, but you can speed through it really quick. It's about this girl who becomes the private chef for this really rich guy, and then she sleeps with him on her first day. And it's a show that is hilarious. It's from Freeform, is that what it's called now? Instead of ABC Family. It's one of those shows. And the last funny show that is completely finished and makes me so sad is New Girl. Basically, Jess becomes a new girl in this apartment with these guys that she finds on the internet, and it's just a really funny show, and Jess is so awkward. And if you haven't seen New Girl, it's just an iconic show and you absolutely need to watch it. It's Zooey Deschanel, is that how you pronounce her name? She's funny. So I feel like there are a lot of really good feel-good shows, but these just give me warm feelings inside. So the first one is Jane the Virgin. If you don't know what Jane the Virgin is, it's basically a telenovela, and it's about Jane who becomes pregnant by artificial insemination because she is a virgin, and it's just the funniest show ever. It goes through different relationships with her different love interests and some day-to-day lives, but overall it's just a very feel-good show. It's full of love, and it's kind of dramatic, but like in a really funny way, and like it's really funny, but I put it in the feel-good category just because it's full of love. The next show is Fuller House, which is another one of those Netflix originals, and it is a reboot slash you know how there was Girl Meets World and they're doing a Raven show now? It's basically that, but for Full House. It has all the original characters except for Mary-Kate and Ashley because they suck. But other than that, it still has all the same characters, and it kind of is the same concept as Full House, where the mom dies, dad has 3 kids, uncle moves in, best friend moves in. It's kind of the same thing, but it's mom's dad dies, she has 3 kids, sister moves in, best friend moves in. It's just a really feel-good show, and it's kind of cheesy, but I don't know, it makes me feel good, so that's why I watch it. Next is a show called Alexa and Katie. It's about these 2 girls that are in high school and has cancer, and her best friend Katie is just there for her, and I don't know, I just feel like it's super feel-good, and it's kind of one of those shows that would have been like an OG Disney Channel original show, not like one of the ones that are on there now, but I'm pretty sure the girl who plays was on Disney Channel at some point in time. But it's a really cute show. The next show is Gilmore Girls, not the Netflix one, but the original one. I don't know why, but this show, it means so much to me. I love it. If you've ever seen Gilmore Girls, then just rewatch it right now. If you are trying to avoid Netflix and you don't know what to watch, just put on Gilmore Girls in the background because it'll make you feel good about yourself every time. And the last show in the feel good category is Atypical, and it's about this kid who has autism, and he has all of these quirks about him, and it takes a lot for people to understand him, but it basically just goes through him trying to find love as an autistic kid who does not necessarily have a lot of social interaction, and he doesn't know how to interact with people. He's super obsessed with penguins, and he has the most wholesome sister in the world who loves him so dearly, and his parents are going through a lot, and he is so blunt with everything that he says, and he's so funny. But overall, the show is just super cute because, I don't know, it's very accepting of someone who's different from the rest of us, and I don't know, it's just a really cute show. So that's how I feel about all the feel-good shows. Next is the drama shows. So this one is really old, and you all have probably seen it. This was the very first show I watched on Netflix ever, and it was Gossip Girl. I don't know why, I just feel like it's a classic show. It's iconic for everything that it is. Just take it all in. It's just super dramatic, and it's, I don't know, I really like it. It's just a show that I've seen a million times that I feel like should be included in this, and I'm pretty sure that Gossip Girl has been in every single one of my Netflix videos. The next one is Unbelievable, and this one I think is a Netflix original, and it is so good. I started watching it, and I think I watched all 8 episodes in one day, and they were all like an hour and a half long. I stayed up so late watching this show. Basically, it's about this girl who was assaulted, and she goes to the police, and they don't really believe her, so she just says it never happens after she filed a police report, and then it begins happening to these other girls, and it is basically just going through the whole process of I don't know, of assault, victims of assault. I feel like it's a really hard show to watch, but it's really good, and these 2 women are just so determined to get to the bottom of it and find the person who is doing this to these people, and wants the women who are assaulted to feel validated, and feel like nothing they're saying is wrong and that it's not their fault. And I don't know, I just feel like it's a really big eye-opener for people who have never had to deal with anything like that before. Next is Quantico, and this stars Nick Jonas's wife. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she is the most stunning individual I've ever seen. Basically, she goes to FBI training camp. Training at Quantico, which is why it's called Quantico, and it goes back and forth between this terrorist attack in New York and their training at Quantico, and it just goes back and forth throughout the whole first season, and I am still on the second season, but I think it's a really good show. I'm really into reading about like FBI agents and things like that, so if you're really into super high stress drama that is crime related, Quantico's your show. Next is Criminal Minds, and this one is also the FBI. It's the behavioral analysis unit at the FBI, and they get called in to take care of different cases, and they basically solve crime profiling the people, and I just really enjoy them building a profile and catching the person and bringing everyone to justice, and it's just a good show. Next is Grey's Anatomy. There are 15 seasons of Grey's, and it's just dramatic because people die all the time, like literally all the time. I was basically weeping in the last episode that I watched. I could not believe how much I was crying, but it just made me so sad. But it's a very dramatic show, and if you don't want an emotional roller coaster, then don't watch it. But if you're into it, then go for it, you know? And the last show in this category is 13 Reasons Why. And just like Unbelievable, even though Unbelievable is based on a true story, I think that both of these are very important that it is viewer discretion is advised. So if it is going to be triggering to you in any way, I do not recommend watching it. In fact, I think that while I am recommending shows to you in this video, I think that 13 Reasons Why, I feel like you need to know where your head is before you watch it. I don't recommend watching it if you're younger than 18 probably. It's a really hard thing. It's basically about this girl who commits suicide, and I'm sure you've seen it. It's been everywhere, and I feel like they didn't do a great job of giving trigger warnings before the show when it first came out, but they are super into trigger warnings now, which is awesome. They're doing a really great job of just raising awareness for mental illness and victims of assault and people who are drug addicts or anything like that. I do think it's very important for you to know what your limits are when you're watching it, but also if you do know that you can handle something like that, if it's not going to trigger you to hurt yourself or anyone else in any way, shape, or form, then I would definitely recommend watching it, just because it is a really hard thing to watch, but I think that it is a reality that a lot of people don't experience. And while it is based on a novel and it's not real life, I do think that the things that they touch on are really important. So now that I've talked about the heavy things, let's just move on to the next category, which is home and interiors. So the first show is Tiny Home Nation, and I really hate that I love these shows, but I just do. Tiny Home Nation is basically where these people want to move into tiny houses and they tour them. It's like House Hunters, but for tiny homes. Next is Instant Hotel, and it is about these Airbnb hosts, instant hotel hosts. Their homes become an instant hotel, and there's 2 seasons, and they basically have 5 people or 5 teams, and then 5 teams, and then they go against each other and they vote until they get to the winner, and then they vote until they get to the winner, and then they stay in each other's houses, and then they rate it on like location, about value for money, about accommodations, destination, that kind of thing. And I don't know, I just think it's a really good show, and it gives you a lot of ideas about hospitality. And then there's also Stay Here, which is another Airbnb type show, and it's where these people have their Airbnbs, and these hospitality experts come in and they renovate the space to make it more profitable, to make it better. I really enjoyed watching those, and also I'm huge into home shows. Next is not necessarily interiors or like design, but it is Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, and I'm sure you guys all heard of the Marie Kondo method when it comes to folding your clothes and all that stuff, because I know it was a huge thing whenever it came out last year. But I was very soothed watching the show. I watched people turn their houses into messes, to places that they liked to be in, and it's not necessarily they're like renovating anything, they're just making their life more tidy, and not just like cleaning things up, but they're making it livable and making it easy to keep up with the livability of the like organization that they're doing. I don't know, it's really good, and it's like an accompaniment of the life-changing magic of tidying up by Marie Kondo. Now that I have got all of those shows available to you guys into the world, the internet, hopefully you guys will watch these shows. Again, viewer discretion is advised on some of those shows, so if you don't feel like you can watch them, or if you don't feel like you're old enough or mature enough to watch some of these shows, then definitely do not do it. But all the other shows I feel like are great. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.